Well, Neeks has arrived. Neeks is here. I've heard a rumor that he's now got an England shirt on. I've heard he's changed. No, he hasn't. He would never do that. Neeks is here. What are you saying, brother? Commiserations.
I am fuming. You don't. I said you don't understand. I'm sure you do understand.
Yeah, I'm English. I understand.
Yeah. Listen. I'm lost for words. If I'm going to be honest, 116th minute, you're 1-0 up in a World Cup quarterfinal. You can't lose that game. You cannot lose that game. You can't. Like, you don't do it. Croatia had one shot on target in the whole game, and that's the goal you lost the game by. Because for me, once Croatia scored, it was game over. Brazil won't win that penalty shootout. Momentum was Croatia. On the back of them winning the last penalty shootout, I think they had probably better penalty takers on the pitch, the likes of Modric, etc. Brazil, by that time, a mishmash of players, centre-backs coming forward, and I'm thinking, and part of it goes on the manager. Like, you're 1-0 up, and you bring on Fred. Like, you're not 2-0 up, and you're 1-0 up, and you bring on Fred to do what? He can't pass. He can't shoot. He can't dribble. He's chasing his own tackle half the time. And I'm not saying it was his fault that we're out the World Cup, but in terms of Fred, but it's the mentality behind some of the subs. 60th minute or whatever it was, Vinny comes off. It's 0-0. You need to score to win the game, and one out of your two most likely, or one out of your three maybe most likely goal scorers, you're taking him off. The game went 120 minutes. That's half the game. Vinny played 50% of the game, and you're out of the World Cup. Like,
Why do you think the manager did that, though? Because watching the game, Brazil were the most dominant. You weren't kind of finishing your dinner. I understand bringing on more attackers. No Martinelli comes on, as an example. Vinny taken off early. What do you think his thought process was?
Well, he's a defense first manager. His kind of process is, we shore up at the back. I've got the attacking players to win it, and that's kind of how the tournament's gone. They've got the back four. He plays Militao right back, who's the centre back. Danilo's playing at left back, who's a better defender than Alexandro, even though he's a natural right back. He's like right-footed. So it's more like we've got four to defend, plus Casemiro and maybe even Paqueta to an extent, or more Casemiro, and the rest of them go forward. So he's not a risk. He's a risk-averse manager. His first protocol is, well, if I don't concede, then all it takes is one goal. But Croatia they had some opportunities on the counter-attack, but Brazil were creating the better opportunities, creating better openings. You just need that going. The longer the game went on, obviously you give the impetus to Croatia. And it's, I think there's always been a question about, why does Fred play? Fred always played for Brazil. He's not very good for Man United because of the type of manager he is. And TJ's done good with Brazil. He's, won the Copa America, got to another final, should have won it. But it's those decisions, those crucial. Vinny plays 50% of the game. Fred comes on after, it's a wonder goal from Neymar. That goal is fit to win any game, especially in the grand stage of the World Cup. And now it's just a footnote in history. He's equaled Pele, while Pele's watching from his sickbed, and Brazil's going home in the quarterfinals. And it's the first quarterfinal. Do you know how much games are left to play this World Cup, and Brazil's gone? I'm mad.
I understand why you're frustrated, and I think everything you've said, Neymar's goal deserved to win this game, but Brazil as a collective just didn't in the end. The way they switched off at that final 15 minutes as well, it was just, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? And it was frustrating to watch. And listen, the commentator said it. I've seen like ex-pros talk about it. The kind of switch off, and be defending with only 4 or 5 men at the back.
Yeah,
that amount of time to go when Croatia are committing people forward, it's just suicidal. And
the Fred sub don't make sense because he's brought him on. Fred's the furthest man up the field when the goal goes in, because he's run on a third man run. Like, so what was his purpose? I don't understand. If you're gonna want this person to run forward and maybe get a second, you bring on Martinelli. I mean, realistically, the one is you bring on Bruno Gomes. He's the one who, if you have to take off Paqueta, it was a sub for substitution's sake. It did nothing to benefit Brazil. He just had one more left, and he thought, I'll bring it on. Oh, and Croatia ain't really played good this tournament. Japan should have dealt with them. They got through that. Brazil should have dealt with them. They got through that. I'm gobsmacked.
I mean, most people looked at it and straight away put you in the semis. As I say, I was talking to lots of Brazilians today, lots of locals today, and everyone, Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. Even the Croatians, they were like cheering, saying, we can do it. So what's the score going to be? And they go, maybe penalties, maybe this, maybe a 1-1. They weren't confident of actually beating you in 90 minutes or beating you over the extra time. They were like, penalties only. The fact that it got to that point with the amount of chances you created, the poor substitutions, yeah, definitely a terrible night, mate. But who you backing now? Who you going to get behind? Not support, but get behind now. Who do you think is going to do it from this point?
World Cup's cancelled, mate. We're back to Manchester United. No, honestly, I don't have a dog in the fight. That's the truth. I guess for the streets, for football, Messi, Ronaldo final would be good, but right now, I don't even care. Honestly, maybe tomorrow I might feel better. I got a work Christmas party, so maybe I can drown my sorrows and reflect tomorrow. But right now, it's just it's sorrow, man.
There we go. My light that's on my camera battery's just died as well. So there we go.
It's Brazil's World Cup dreams.
Yeah, it just went out. Light just went out. Neeks, always a pleasure to speak, my friend, and we'll catch up with you again soon. Top man. Thank you. Yeah, listen, I get why he's frustrated there, and the light's probably gone off. I think the battery must be dead, so that's what it is.